Doppelgangers, redefining human diversity? The enigmatic phenomenon of doppelgangers, where two unrelated individuals bear an uncanny resemblance, has puzzled people for centuries. Is this resemblance a mere coincidence, or does it point to a deeper truth about our human makeup? Join us as we dive into an exploration that not only challenges our understanding of diversity, but also questions the very concepts of race and identity. Genealogy, the study of family ancestries and history, has long provided insights into who we are and where we come from. Historically, the discovery of doppelgangers has challenged conventional beliefs in human uniqueness and raised profound questions about the depths of our diversity. Going back in history, documented cases of near-exact likenesses among unconnected individuals sparked curiosity and intrigue, forcing genealogists and historians alike to rethink the scope of human variation. But what exactly makes a doppelganger? These aren't typical cases of mistaken identity or superficial likenesses. Doppelgangers possess strikingly similar facial features, gestures, and even sometimes behavioral traits. Compelling examples can be found in literature, folklore, and art, where myths about lookalikes have been woven as omens or mystical phenomena. In today's world, we see stories of celebrities and everyday individuals discovering their doppelgangers, often through viral social media encounters. Biologically, humans are said to exhibit immense genetic diversity, an accumulation over millennia that has endowed us with unique physical and cultural characteristics. Scientific research supports this vast diversity, a richness celebrated in disciplines such as anthropology and evolutionary biology. Variations in our DNA sequences contribute significantly to our distinct appearances and abilities across the global population, painting a picture of myriad human faces. However, this narrative of endless diversity seems confounded when unrelated doppelgangers appear. What might account for such uncanny resemblance? Some attribute this to genetic inheritance and expressions that unearth similar traits across different lineages. Is this anomaly an outlier, or does it indicate that only a handful of genetic combinations are available to human visage? While each human possesses unique DNA, patterns of similarity arise in the physical manifestation, such as facial structure, through genetic crossover and inherited traits. The genes responsible for determining appearance might show less variation than previously thought, leading to these natural imitations. Could it be that evolution has resulted in certain templates of humans resurfacing through multiple generations? Interestingly, doppelganger cases often reignite debates about racial groupings and diversity, or lack thereof, within these groups. Some propose that such mirrored appearances suggest there's a limited genetic pool within specific racial categories, leading to constrained diversity. Indeed, the striking similarities among doppelgangers raise questions about how much variation truly exists within any particular populace. The role of race in genetic science is contentious. Many scholars argue it functions primarily as a socio-cultural construct rather than a biological imperative. Although physical differences among groups are evident, the concept of race lacks a definitive genetic basis. Most geneticists concur that the degree of diversity and variation within supposed racial groups is actually far greater than between these groups. However, as doppelgangers populate our imaginations, they challenge the simplicity of dismissing race entirely from the genetic equation. Could these unrelated lookalikes represent points on a biological continuum of traits, rather than discrete categories defined by race? In broader societal terms, our perceptions of race influence a multitude of socio-political and economic structures. When doppelgangers emerge, they confront and sometimes force a recalibration of these perceptions, challenging deep-seated notions that race defines distinct human varieties. By looking at doppelgangers, we can perhaps reconsider how racial identity is constructed and understood, encouraging a more fluid view of human kinship. Consider famous cases like actor Keanu Reeves and his historical lookalikes. Photographs from the past resembling Reeves have sparked online frenzies about uncanny resemblances spanning eras. Similarly, ordinary people have discovered their face twin living continents apart, thanks to social networks and shared photo databases. These stories provide tangible illustrations of the phenomenon. Each case study reveals audience reactions that oscillate between amazement and skepticism, often leading to broader discussions about identity and connectedness. From a scientific viewpoint, studies have begun to examine the increasing instances of facial similarity among doppelgangers. Insights from fields such as biometrics and computational imaging point towards an explanation rooted in mathematical probability and genetic variance. Research involving facial recognition technology, for instance, attempts to quantify and explain the metrics of lookalikes, offering grounding for a subject often veiled in mystery. Notably, research has yet to definitively conclude whether these patterns are byproducts of evolution, random genetic duplication, or simply perceived commonality due to cultural homogenization enabled by globalization. How do we interpret the historical prevalence and present popularity of doppelgangers? Some suggest psychological matrices, where our brains are hardwired to detect and recognize familiar patterns, a survival mechanism now rendered obsolete by modern society. Others claim these occurrences are rare enough to be seen as statistical errors that don't undermine the truth of genetic diversity. Yet, understanding doppelgangers also involves exploring the psychological and cultural fascination with discovering another me in the world. What does it mean for a person to find, face-to-face or virtually, their visual twin? Is it merely a novelty, or does it unravel unexpected truths about our shared lineage? For the genealogist, doppelgangers pose both a challenge and an opportunity. On one hand, they could signal complexity in tracing distinct ancestry lines, suggesting that our records and interpretations may overlook subtleties of interrelatedness. On the other hand, uncovering these likenesses can inspire new methodologies in examining familial connections and expanding our understanding of heritage. The genealogical community is thus invited to reflect on whether doppelgangers enrich or complicate the practice. Regardless, these mirrored faces expose that our interconnectedness stretches far deeper than previously charted on any family tree. The existence of doppelgangers urges us to reconsider long-held beliefs about diversity and race. If anything, they offer a lens through which to appreciate not only the complexity of genetic manifestations, but also the intricacies of identity. This exploration invites genealogists to go beyond genetic codes and embrace the broader narratives, historical, cultural, and personal, that flesh out what it means to be human. We invite you, our viewers and fellow genealogists, to engage with this contentious yet fascinating discourse. How do doppelgangers shape or enhance our understanding of genetic and cultural diversity? Can they teach us something more profound about our humanity than we realize? Through this lens, what could the future of genealogy look like? Your insights, critiques, and personal experiences form the bedrock of this ongoing discussion. Whether these reflections harmonize or diverge, the dialogue itself enriches our collective understanding of diversity. As we've voyaged through the dimensions of doppelgangers and their implications, we've uncovered layers of complexity surrounding diversity and race. These reflections implore us to look beyond superficial resemblances and appreciate the intricate web of relationships that define our human experience. Doppelgangers, in their paradoxical nature, reveal that while we pursue uniqueness, we share a common humanity etched across generations. Join the conversation. Share your thoughts on doppelgangers in the comments and recount any personal encounters with uncanny lookalikes. How do they impact your view of genealogy and the stories we tell about ourselves? Engage with others as we explore these challenging ideas together. Thank you for embarking on this journey with us. Stay tuned for more thought-provoking discussions and insights into genealogy's dynamic world. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to join our community. Until next time, keep exploring the ties that bind us all.